someone listening to you.
Right, well, it's time for my first game review. Channel's called The Pissed Off Gamer. Not sure if you could tell yet. My first game review is going to be of DayZ. It's a great game. Started off as an Arma 2 mod, then it came out on standalone through Steam. Now, the standalone game you can get through Steam right now is an alpha, which is basically pre-beta. Like, the way I like to explain it is like, it's kind of like a house. Like, they got up the framework, they got all that shit done, but they're actually just putting in the drywall and the toilets and the crappers and all that good shit. Um, so they're still basically building the game, but the framework of the game is there. The framework is so you can go ahead and enjoy the game the way they have it now. Obviously, it's going to be buggy. It's an alpha. The only major bug I've had is I was on top of a building. I logged out because I think I wanted to smoke or something. And when I came back, it glitched me through the floor and into like a grassy area next to a building to where you couldn't actually move. Like, because you can't walk through walls, obviously, so I was stuck in just like this hole and couldn't do anything to get out of it. But I Googled, a fix for it, and I found that what you do is if this happens to you, run and jump at a wall and then log out before you hit the ground. It's kind of hard, timing and shit. And then when you come back, you'll be back in the world to where you can run around and do shit. Now the game itself is fun as hell. I mean, I've put, God, I don't even know how many hours now. Like I have not been able to stop playing this game. I've put 34 hours into this game. So I have way too much time put into this game. It's so much fun. The deal behind the game is it's essentially like a survival game, but rather than just being stuck somewhere and not being able to do much, you start off with nothing. You start off with a shirt, pants, a flashlight, and a battery, and that's all you start with. And your character gets hungry, he gets thirsty, he gets tired, things like that. You can actually die from illness, which I thought is really weird. It's like the Oregon Trail meets Left 4 Dead, kind of. Now, the only thing that I kind of don't like about the game is rather than having to look out for zombies, like zombies are pretty easy to kill. I mean, you get a fireman's axe, which you can find in the game. It's a one-hit kill on zombies. They're done. And they're predictable. You know what a zombie's going to do. It walks at you, it tries to attack you, you hit it in the face with an axe, and the bitch dies. People, on the other hand, because it's an MMO, so other people are in the game with you. Now, the thing is, they can just come up to you and shoot your ass in the head and you're dead. Now, in other games, that wouldn't be such a big deal. But in the DayZ, you have permadeath. So when you die, you lose everything. Like, you're done. You have to go back, you have to find all that shit again, get back to where you were in the game, and it's really fucking annoying if you do die. But the thing is, as pissed off as I got the couple times I've died after I got a bunch of shit, I was more than willing to get back on and do it again. Which I thought was weird. I've never had a game piss me off that bad, but make me come back and keep playing it. It's ridiculous, and if it's such a fun game when you get down to bare bones and actually get to like playing it. Now I have a friend who I was playing with, and he kept dying, and he got to the point where he just stopped playing it. So obviously, for some people, they're not going to find the same enjoyment out of it that I do. I really enjoy the permadeath feature. It's fun. It adds a spin to the game, and it adds a new level of anxiety. And you have to be really careful when you go about doing things, because if you do die, you have to start all over again. And other people are going to absolutely hate that. Other people don't want to spend 34 hours getting to where they are like I have, and then just get killed and have to start over. And I can understand why that would piss some people off, but with me, I really enjoy that for some reason. Um, Now, as far as the game itself, I mean, the controls are a little buggy. The controls take a little bit to get used to. They're kind of clunky. But again, the game is an alpha, so it's not gonna be a perfect game yet. Once it does come out on Steam, for full release, available, completely available, it's gonna be interesting just because of the way the game is. You can have 40 players in one lobby, and then you could just be like I was just running through the woods, and some fucker just ran up and shot me in the head, and that was it. I had to start over. I came across a guy one time who had another guy handcuffed and was force feeding him disinfectant. Which sounds it's funny because what other game can you do that to people? But what I did is I shot the guy who was trying to force feed the other guy disinfectant, and then unlocked the other guy from his handcuffs because I was able to find some handcuff keys earlier in the game. Now, as far as the game itself and finding loot and things like that, whatever server you join resets at a predetermined amount of time. They decided it's not up to you. And when the server resets, all of the loot that people have gathered respawns, so you can go out and find it again. Now, I never played with hopping from server to server when they reset to get more loot. I've done it the old-fashioned way, where I hop in a server and hope for the best. And if I get the shit I need, I'm good. If I don't, then whatever, I'll wait. Now, I mean, the game, like I said, it's extremely fun. I can't stop playing this game. I've put 34 hours into it, that's almost 3 days of playtime, and I've had it for maybe 2 weeks. So whenever I had a chance to play this game, I was. Now, this game, it has a lot of running. That's like, if you want to go somewhere to loot, first thing, you don't have a map. So you have no way of knowing where the hell you are. You have to figure it out yourself. I mean, you can find maps online and use that, and that's what I have to do, because if you don't, the game is, you don't know what the hell you're doing. You're just running around randomly hoping to not get eaten by a fucking zombie. Um, so you don't have a compass, so you can't tell direction. I mean, it's supposed to be a survival game, and the one thing I thought I would enjoy if they put in is the sun rises in the east and sets in the west rule. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that rule, but the sun always rises in the east and sets in the west. It's been that way since the beginning of goddamn time. Now, in DayZ, the sun always seems to be to the south. Like, it's never east or west. It's just, like, in the south, basically. So, it's kind of hard to get direction. I did find a trick online from Google where to find direction, you look up at the clouds, because the clouds always move west to east. And that way you can go ahead and figure out direction, which way you got to go, things like that. Now, as far as the survival aspect of the game, that's a lot of fun. I actually died at one point from food poisoning, which I know in modern times that's not that scary. But think post-apocalyptic world, post-apocalyptic, where there's no doctors. You have to do all this shit yourself. I mean, you have to find antibiotics like out in the world because they do have them. I think it's tetrafluorazine or something like that. Anyway, it's an antibiotic, and you can use that to cure food poisoning. But if you don't have that, you die. So that's just, to me, that's really interesting, knowing that it's not like, oh no, I'm sick. Oh, I'll be fine. Like in the Elder Scrolls, like when you got, when you contracted Rockjaw or Rockjoint or whatever it was called, it wasn't a death sentence. It made you look funny, but that was it. In DayZ, if you get food poisoning, your ass is dying. If you don't find water, you're dying. If you don't find food, you're dying. You can actually die from hypothermia if you run in water and then get cold and don't have a change of clothes to change into because your other ones are damp. Like, it's just, that game to me, the survival aspect of it and how far they've gone to emulate real life, and how it's going to, if the world were to end from a zombie apocalypse, which it's not going to, stop the bullshit, you would have, you have to figure out how you're going to live. And it's just, it's an interesting, kind of like social experiment, kind of, when you stop to think about it, because you get people like me. I play the game just to play the game. I don't go around looking for other players to take them hostage, steal their shit, and shoot them. Like, I just play the game as the game. But other people will do that. Other people will run around specifically looking for players just to fuck with them. And for some people, that's going to be a ton of fun. I guess if you're an immature prick, that's going to be fun for you. For me, I'd rather enjoy taking the game as it is, with the survival aspect, killing zombies, gathering your loot, and that's it. Now, where I'm at in the game right now, I've got so much shit that I don't want to play it again. Because of, like I said, people will just fucking murder you, and you have to start over. So I've just decided that I'm not going to play that game until I feel safer to play it, which is strange because I've got a Magnum and an M4, so I'm perfectly safe. If I do see someone else, I can just kill them. But it's gotten to that point now where I'm so far that I don't want to play it anymore just because I'm afraid I'll die. And a lot of people are going to run into that, but a lot of other people are just going to keep playing because they enjoy that risk. they enjoy playing the game knowing that at any given moment they could have to start over. So it does create a different anxiety within the game, like having to be worried about actually dying and not like in other games where you just respawn and you'll be fine. So the game is a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. If you're going to get pissed off because it's buggy, don't get it. You're going to pay $30 to get the game on Steam. It's going to be buggy. You're going to hate it. You're going to be pissed off. So if you're worried about the bugginess, don't buy it. If you're a whiny bitch and every time you die, you lose all your shit, don't buy it. You're going to be angry because you wasted $30. So my recommendation for this game is if you are level-headed enough and you can not get way too pissed off about a game, which I do admittedly, but if you're not going to enjoy the permadeath feature, don't play this game because you're gonna die. That's one thing everyone has to realize about DayZ. If you play this game, you're going to die. And for if you don't want to die and lose all your shit, don't play the game. You're not going to enjoy it. If after everything I've said, you still think you're going to enjoy this game, go ahead and buy it. It's $30 right now for the standalone, not the Arma 2 mod. For the standalone game, it's $30. When the game comes out in full release, not in alpha, it's going to be $60. So if you want the game for half price and get to play it early, that's perfect. Go ahead and buy it. It's $30. If you rather wait for the full release to where you don't have to deal with the bugs and things like that, just make sure you listen to everything else in this video about the actual game features, and then you can decide if it's actually a game you want to buy. Now, I just remembered last night I was looking around on IGN, and the creator of DayZ is considering putting dogs in. He's going to put in German Shepherds. Now, that'll add a different dynamic to the game, because if they treat players as permadeath, if you die you lose your shit, they're going to treat dogs the same way. So if you have a dog and the dog dies, your dog's dead. You can't bring your dog back. So you need to really, like, with that, it's going to be interesting. But apparently with the dog, you can send it out to find food that'll attack zombies for you, stuff like that. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see how that works out. Now, my overall recommendation for this game, if you liked everything I said in this video and it sounds interesting to you, go buy it. It's a lot of fun. If after watching this video and seeing how pissed off I got just thinking about all the times I've died, which is an exuberant amount, and you're worried that you're not going to enjoy the game for that reason, do not buy it. It's going to be a waste of your time, your money, and you're going to hate me. Because that's why I'm saying if you like it, get it. If you don't, you don't. So after everything I've said, go ahead and buy the game if you like it. I highly recommend this game. I think it's a lot of fun. And honestly, if you're going to be a little bitch about dying, don't get it. That's pretty much what it comes down to. So I'm going to have more videos coming up hopefully soon. I can check DayZ off my list now. The next review I'm probably going to end up doing is Amnesia: Machine for Pigs. Because I played that game a little bit and it's alright. And then also I'm going to have my personal review of the Elder Scrolls Online beta that I've played. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to diverge too much and tell you too much about the game because I want to be chosen for other betas. So I'm going to tell you what I like about the game, how far I've made it, everything like that in an upcoming video. So go ahead, subscribe, tell your friends. I really don't give a shit what you do. Just, I really don't care. If you like the video, let me know in the comments because that would be pretty cool. Oh yeah, and go fuck yourselves.